Amy.
Hi, Gemma.
From Preschool. Thanks for joining us today. We have so many ideas to share with you about our March theme, which is
Colors of the Rainbow.
Colors of the Rainbow. We love this theme better than doing like a color a month, like September is red, October is orange. I would rather put it all together in one unit so that we can talk about color identification, color sorting, color theory, and rainbows and weather. So we like to put it together into one comprehensive unit all at the same time. Today we thought we would share with you some of the art projects that we're doing with our kids that kind of go with the colors of the rainbow theme.
Yeah. We're ready.
Our goal is always to give our kids that opportunity for the process. So if it's painting, dripping, gluing, squeezing, whatever the process is, we don't have a finished product to show them. It's always our goal that they can be creative with it and just really get to enjoy that process. But we know that parents like something to put on the fridge. So our compromise is that the kids do some kind of a process, and then we provide some opportunity for them to kind of like finish it off.
They don't all look the same, and that's the whole point. You don't want them to look all the same.
So today we're going to share 3 ideas with you. The first idea is actually a carryover from last month when we were studying
Oceans. We had, because it was kind of a February-March week, we've kind of still got some ocean stuff happening. Half things that we started last week that we didn't quite finish because it had to dry. That's the thing. When you only have them 2 or 3 days a week, if you do something on your last day, you have to wait for the base of it maybe to dry before you can finish it. So we've had a couple of projects that are like that.
Here's the other part of it. All of our projects don't always go with the theme. Sometimes we just do art for the sake of art, and that is okay. The one that I'm going to show you first is the one that you can see over our shoulder. We put out a variety of blue, shades of blue and white and silver tempera paint for our younger students. Now, at our craft store, this is the brand that they carry. Nicole brand, but any of them washable tempera paint will be fine. And we just put out a variety of blue shades. They've got like a regular blue and silver sparkles.
Yes. We
put out white. We have some sky blue and some blue sparkles. Just a variety of paint with brushes for them. And with no directions, they were allowed to just paint blue when we were talking.
You can't go wrong. Anyone can do this.
We talked about it. That's true.
3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. It's all gonna look fine.
They were just painting. We're talking about the ocean and the water and moving our hands like the ocean. And then when they dried over the weekend, then we just had a wall full, if you look back at some of the old videos, just this wall full of blue paint, which is fine. But sometimes we like to do a little something,
something to
make it fridge worthy. And so for this project, we used our Silhouette Cameo, which is like a Cricut machine, like a little die cutter, to cut
little fish. They look kind of like goldfish crackers, but
they do look like goldfish.
If you don't have a Silhouette machine, you should get one because they're really good. But if you don't, you can just go ahead and cut them out with your scissors.
You could just cut out little fish. Yes, that would be easy enough. Sometimes we overthink things. Yes.
Never.
Every day I'm like, am I overthinking this?
And I say yes.
Yes. And then our students, especially our younger ones, are still practicing using glue. So we usually don't give them the bottle, although you could if you're really brave. We put it on a little tray.
Use Q-tips.
Q-tips. You could use a brush, or you can make glue sponges, but we don't use it that often. I don't know, we don't have it that often. So we just use a little tray with some Q-tips. And they dot their glue and stuck their fish right on their blue papers. Ta-da!
Looks good, right?
So they got the practice with the painting, and then we just glued some fish on, and then tomorrow...
And their color practice, because I was sitting with them. What color are you going to put on next? I'm going to put red color. Oh, great. What other colors are you going to put on? Turns into a fish color crossover. Look at that.
Fish, rainbows, process art, and then tomorrow we can just send these little pictures home, and they can go on their fridges. So super cute and easy.
Or the trash, depending on which parent. Yes.
Never! I have 4 kids. I use black trash bags when they bring all their work home.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
Lovely. All right, idea number 2.
So we haven't done this with our younger class yet. That will be tomorrow. We're gonna hope for. Okay, you can hold that one.
Okay.
And I'll hold this one. These are from our older class. See, they look different.
They do. We've been teaching our students that rainbows always come in the same order. Always red, orange, yellow, green, and blue.
Don't forget there's purple too.
Gemma's singing on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I just have to set her up for it. So we've been talking through some flannel board stories and books that we're reading that rainbows always come in the same order. So these are our 4.5 and 5-year-old students. So we did a oil pastel watercolor project with them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are we gonna model it?
We could. Well, I guess we don't really have it.
It's easy.
You just draw the rainbow. We have these oil pastels.
We love to just use different art medium.
Because these feel different. When you use them, they feel different than crayons. But if you don't have any, you could use crayons.
You could just use crayons. It will still work.
It'll be fine.
So the kids are just drawing.
You probably should model. Her rainbows are so nice.
You know, it's like the only thing I can really draw.
See, look at that.
Ooh, so they're just gonna draw the colors of the rainbow in order.
You can go ahead and sing the song as you do it. I do. That's how I remember.
Did you want to do it now?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. And the kids, they like singing the song. We had a sing-off the other day.
So they're just gonna draw the rainbow. And then the cool thing about oil pastels is the interaction with the watercolors is really beautiful. So you can either use liquid watercolors. That's what we happen to use for these.
Or you can just
simplify your life and use a palette of watercolors. And so then we just ask them to just paint on top of the lines with the matching colors. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, how the
part of ruin Jamie's rainbow.
I was gonna send this one home and put it on my refrigerator.
Oh, sorry about that.
How when the oil pastels interact with the watercolors, you know, they kind of do like a resist, like a watercolor resist, which is a neat effect. And the kids just kind of sat talking to each other and painting and just being, I don't know, having some creativity. So when this part, ooh, that looks good.
Thanks.
Ooh,
I'm trying.
we should do more like
Trying
cooperative
to
art.
Balance
yeah.
the tray up. It's a whole thing going on here.
Anyway, they just painted it. Super easy. Oil pastels to line it up, and then
and depending on how much paint they put on, they dry really quickly.
Depending on how much paint. We also offered them, because we were using the liquid watercolors, some watered down blue, you know, for the sky if they wanted to do a cloudy sky. And then when everything was dry, they used that same glue.
And cotton balls.
If they wanted to put some cotton balls on the bottom.
Or cotton wool, if you're in England. Or Australia.
Wool. Yeah. That's not from a sheep.
I'm just saying that's what we call it.
Okay, cotton wool at the bottom of the rainbow if they wanted to. And if our older kids all did want to put some cotton balls on it. So, easy enough.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
And they look really stunning.
Look really nice.
Stunning.
They're kind of in a different part of the room where I'd show you all of them. Oh look, no, I can show you some. Look. Rainbows. And then the last one was messy. So here comes the mess warning.
Oh, me now. Sorry. She's gonna be singing again in a minute.
Our last one was messy, but it was so good.
And loud.
And loud.
Remember that headache I mentioned yesterday? The day before?
We have some really active kids who need a lot of heavy work, which means they're using their muscles and they just have a lot of energy. And so we took the math center that we've been doing, which we showed you were the Fruit Loop graphs.
Janet, they're gonna do it tomorrow.
We'll let you know. They should be able to do that.
We'll see how, but it doesn't matter how it looks, as long as they're trying to do it.
That's true. Any old rainbow would be fine. Okay, so then the last idea is to make sand art using Fruit Loops. I posted a picture of this on Instagram and I left a link in the video description if you'd like to see some pictures of the kids doing it. But we had them sort the colors of the Fruit Loops. We're not gonna sort the colors, we're just gonna, I'm just gonna pick them out.
We can do that if we want to.
But if I'm 3, I'm gonna sort them first on a tray.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pick out all of the same color. And then we gave our kids, is that enough?
Yeah, I think so.
this mortar and pestle, which is a great idea that I got from Friends Art Lab, which is like the most awesome Instagram page on Instagram. And they just used it. Oops, see, it was a little loud. Maybe go with the stone one, not the ceramic.
If you don't have one of these, because not everyone has one, you can just put them in a Ziploc bag and just crunch them up.
Leave it to Gemma to always have an alternative in case you don't have a mortar and pestle.
I have to think about these. I'm trying to take.
Can you smell that?
We smell very sugary by the end of this week.
I said if you could get like a sugar rush, like just from contact, like a contact high, contact sugar rush. I totally had one yesterday during this project. So the kids just worked together. They were banging and mushing and getting all of their energy out to make Fruit Loop dust.
It's crazy.
It smells really good.
And the colors, because they've got so many added food dyes,
colored sugar.
They're really vibrant, so they make great art.
But like we said, you could just smush them up, like Gemma said, in a Ziploc bag.
You could.
You don't have to overthink it. You could roll it with a rolling pin. Into a Ziploc bag. Okay, and then Ziploc and a rolling pin. See, that's a smart idea. And then we let them just use the glue bottle. So these are older kids. I don't think we'll probably do this one with the younger kids. Maybe, we'll see. And they could just make shapes or pictures all over their paper. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Obviously, the finer the dust, the better it's gonna be. But
let me see.
Jamie didn't do a very good job.
I didn't want to bang on the video because it was like really loud. Okay, and so then they're gonna make their picture and just sprinkle
they work together so nicely.
We do. We should do more cooperative art, like after school.
Yeah, just
and I said, do you want to do art? You want to paint with me? And so the kids just are sprinkling, which is so good for their fine motor to pick up the sand and sprinkle it all over the glue. And
Jamie did a really big.
I did do a really big one, but it's okay. Watch. And then we're just gonna. Then they can shake it, and we have a little pile, like a little bowl for them to throw all the.
And it turns into
excess,
a brown pile.
It does, or a rainbow pile.
Rainbow pile.
The excess Fruit Loop sand. Okay, I'm gonna make a mess here. And when it's all done,
look at that.
They have a sand art picture made out of Fruit Loop dust.
We're sorry, parents, if you're watching, that we're sending this home.
So these go in their folders, and I know the parents are going to open up and just be like, it's worse than glitter.
I don't know if it's worse than glitter. Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. So this is what they kind of turned out as. So he was doing letters for his name. This is just some, call this modern.
Oh, there's a G.
There's a G, and then the rest I think is
shapes, lines. It doesn't matter what it was.
Interpretive art. What do you call it? Like when it's like abstract. And then at the end, we had brushes if they wanted to brush the glue onto the paper.
See if it has a different effect than just drizzling it.
And so by the end, we had this like huge bowl of
brown and orange
Fruit Loop dust and paintbrushes full of glue. So this is what some of them are going home with.
Like this one, Lisa's mommy.
Just a page full of
Fruit Loop dust.
Fruit Loop dust.
But they spent a long time doing this. They were there. For most of centers, they sat and did this. They loved it.
They totally did. And it was so many processes. It was the sorting of the colors, mushing them up into dust,
using the glue,
and then
sprinkling it on, shaking it on.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then we had this. We put a tablecloth down, so the tablecloth is like full of Fruit Loop dust. So we took it outside and shook it like a parachute. Birds. My grass outside is like rainbow. We had a great time with these 3 art projects. So hopefully, if you can't do them exactly the same, it will inspire some ideas and creativity for your own classroom.
I think the trick to these things is try not to let your own idea influence them. So if it doesn't look like you think it's going to look, it's okay. It doesn't make any difference. The whole point is it looks like they did it.
Exactly. So just provide the opportunities, provide the materials, provide different mediums, if it's paint or glue or Fruit Loop dust or watercolors, oil pastels, we're just giving them different things to work with. And
if you're not allowed food in your classroom, I know some people will say that, you can use colored sand.
You could use colored sand.
Or colored rice.
Or you could get chalk.
Chalk? Yeah, that's a great idea.
That
then, Jamie.
So we're just trying to share some ideas, and hopefully you can take them and make them work for your own situation. Thanks for joining us. We hope you always have fun playing, learning with your kids.
And we'll see you next time.